get to it, shall we? I do want you to have 2 blankets and a block, or something that can be used like them. So if you have a bolster, you could use that instead of 2 blankets. You might still want 1 blanket. And if you have something that can serve as a block, you know, I'm a big fan of the do what you can where you are with what you have, right? So maybe 2 blankets and a block, maybe a bolster, maybe a couple cushions. We'll make it all work. Excellent. So we're going to start out laying down on our backs. A little popping in the knees this morning. A little vata, dryness. Oh, so moving around a little bit as you come down onto your back. If your low back feels really tight, feel free to keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. Just feeling yourself wiggle into a place of stillness. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze, whichever is more comfortable for you. Beginning to tune into the breath. And if we imagine the breath being like the flow of the seasons, the inhale would be the spring, the pause at the top of the inhale, summer, exhale, autumn, and the pause at the end of the exhale is winter. So see if you can follow this flow with the breath and connecting with the seasonal flow here, and especially with that pause at the bottom of the exhale. And if the mind wanders, gently bring it back. And with that pause, you might be able to notice a little melting, a little softening, a rest. Noticing how that pause feels to you. Might feel really unfamiliar. See if you can find a deeper friendship with that pause. Knowing that it's part of a larger flow. You won't stay in it forever. You need to take the next inhale, and it's coming. And then the exhale, and then sink into that pause again. This is the time of year where the greatest gifts are really found in presence, not in receiving material goods, but in being present. And especially with the internal landscape, the deeper dreams, the desires, the getting still enough to hear that small voice of the inner wisdom, your deeper knowing. So the darkness invites us into these other ways of knowing besides seeing. The eyes closed for longer, the awareness of what is true and real percolating to the surface, the dreams, the desires. And the allowing everything to be just as it is in this moment of pause. And beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes like they're sensing into the darkness. What can they perceive and hear and listen to? Rolling the hands and feet around in little circles, massaging out the wrists and the ankles. And going back the other way. Beautiful. And then bringing the arms out to T and bending the knees, placing the feet on the floor. You might adjust the sacrum here. So take an inhale here. And as you exhale, drop both knees to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees drop left. Inhale, center. We're going to add the arms now. So when the legs drop to the right, we're going to bring the right arm over and reach towards the left and look out over that left arm. And then we'll bring both arms up and switching sides, exhale. So kind of like we're imagining the arc of the seasons, moving from summer solstice to winter solstice with a little pause. Deepening into our own knowing. The next time your knees come to the left and your arms come to the right, reach your right hand up to hold onto your left wrist and pull a little traction here. Reaching the arm a little longer, stretching out from the shoulder. Like there's more capacity to hold all that is. It's letting go breath. And then reversing, releasing that wrist. Knees come to the right, hands come over to the left, and we're going to reach the left hand to hold on to the right wrist and pulling. Sinking into this twist in your spine. Creating more length, more capacity to hold what is in stillness and grace. Into letting go breaths. And releasing, coming back to center. Bring the arms out to the sides, the feet as wide as the mat. Let the knees fall in against each other. Feel how this relaxes the low back. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, crossing right arm on top of left, and give yourself a hug. Feel the pause at the end of the exhale. Gratitude for this gritty earth gift, as Mary Oliver says. Sinking in and letting go. Inhale, reach the arms back up to the sky. Exhale, out to the floor, radiating out. Inhale, reach the arms back up to the sky. This time, left arm on top of right. Give yourself a hug, really reaching around the side bodies. Giving yourself a nice squeeze. We complete this solar year and welcome the season of winter. Bring some gratitude, coziness, appreciation, and inhale, reaching the arms back up to the sky. Exhale, open to the floor. Pausing here for our breath. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Might rock a little side to side here. Placing one hand on top of each knee and begin to move the knees around in separate circles so they come together and then out, away from each other, around and back in. And then going back the other way. Nice, extending the arms and legs up to the sky, circling the hands and feet again, tending to those joints. Back the other way. Nice. And then we're going to extend up to the sky and then release down, stretching out long, floating the arms and legs. So you don't need to go down super far. You can go just a little bit and then come back up. So we're engaging the core here. Exhaling down, inhaling up. And notice how you can tune into that solar plexus, that gut, trusting the gut here, just bringing some awareness, some warmth here. Last one. Nice. And then shake out. Shake, 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 shake. Arms and legs. You can roll a little side to side, get the breath going, releasing. Letting go of tension, conflict. Places where we're stuck and stagnant. A little more shaking here. Awesome, and then hug the knees and notice the sensation, maybe some tingling. And then dropping the feet to the floor here. With your next inhale, lifting the hips up towards the sky. If you have something under your head, you may want to remove that. Taking 2 breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale, coming back down. Scooting the hips a little bit over to the left, laying them back down. Extend the right leg long. Inhale, bringing the left knee in, holding onto it with the right hand. We're going to guide the leg over to the right, and you can stretch that leg out. And stretching the left arm out. Melting into this shape, which we'll find again in just a little bit. This twist. Surrendering here, softening. Letting go breaths if that feels good. You feel yourself tending to that inner landscape, the awareness of your feelings, your needs, your dreams. And gently, slowly unwinding, coming back to center, feet to the floor, scooting the hips a little bit over to the right, extending left leg long. Inhale, bring right knee in and guide it over to the left, stretching it out long and stretching out the right arm. Again, sinking in here. In your body, find this shape as you tend to what arises. You notice as you release through the hips and the shoulders here in your inner world. Letting go breaths are welcome. We prepare to sink into the longest night of this year. With your next inhale, unwind, come back to center. Realigning the spine. Beautiful. Hug the knees into the chest. And then you can either rock and roll or roll to one side and press your way up. And we're going to make our way up. And from here, we're going to come to hands and knees, and you're welcome to put your blanket underneath your knees if you would like. So take an inhale here. Exhale, round the spine, gazing towards the belly button. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, let the motion slide up the spine, belly drops, head lifts. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale, lifting. This time we're gonna curl the toes under, press back to a down dog. Finding stillness here in the down dog. With your next inhale, lift your left leg towards the sky. And as you exhale, bend the knee and bring the knee towards the chest as you move towards a plank. And then we're gonna, bring the leg out to the right. So we're coming down to rest on that left hip. So this is moving into Dying Warrior, which is the pose we were just in on our back, basically. But now we're gonna surrender our heart to the floor. And so there's a couple options here. You can bring your chest towards the floor and look out towards the right. You can also, if you'd like, slide your right arm across your chest and look out to the left. So here we're surrendering, we're letting go, we're letting the solar year come to a close, getting ready for a rebirth. You can tune into what you would like to surrender, what you're ready to release on this solstice. Let's take 2 letting go breaths here. Squeezing it out like the winter wind. And coming back up, bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, curling that back toe under and making your way to a down dog again. With your next inhale, lifting right leg to the sky. Exhale, coming forward towards a plank, and then send that right leg out to the left. We're going to slide the left leg back, come down to rest on the right hip. And again, you can choose to melt the heart towards the floor. You can turn the head to look to the left. You can bring the left arm underneath the chest. Look out to the left. Finding this place of surrender where there's some edginess. Breathing into that awareness. The longest night of the year, welcoming us to see without vision, without eyesight, but inner vision, yes. What might we surrender here that allows us more clarity, more ease as we welcome the next solar year, the solar return. And we pause, letting go breaths here. And gently, slowly making your way back up, hands underneath the shoulders, curl the left toes under and slide back to a down dog. Finding your stillness here. With your next inhale, coming forward, hands and knees. Keep the toes curled under, and if you're able to sit back on your heels, do that. If you'd like to stay up in a high kneeling position, you're welcome to do that. So here, feeling that stretch through the feet, interlacing the hands behind the back, lifting them away with an inhale. And as you exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Make sure you're engaging your core so you don't overarch the low back. Inhale, roll the left ear to the left shoulder. Exhale, back down to the heart. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, heart. Inhale, left. Exhale, heart. Feel into those feet. It might be getting intense. Inhale, right. Exhale, heart. Inhale back to center. Lift the arms a little bit more. Feel yourself connected to your feet, to the earth. Exhale, releasing down. Come forward, uncurl your toes, and tap out your feet on the floor. Enlivening our connection there to the earth. So now we're going to find our props here. Setting the block to the side for just a moment. And I'm going to take my 2 blankets and stack them in this kind of rectangle and then roll them up together. So I'm basically making a bolster. And if you have a bolster, you can just use a bolster. So I'm going to place this on across the mat. And I'm going to aim to have the soft part of my side body on the bolster. So I'm going to lean over, knees are bent, and my right side is just draping over. And then once you've found your draping here, you can just rest. Let your arms land wherever they do. If you want to open the left arm back behind you, you can do that. It might just float in the air. We're opening up the side body space. It tends to get very compressed in the winter, in the cold. See if you can feel yourself melt like wax or honey. Notice what happens when you feel that inner softening. Perhaps some deep compassion for the journey that is your life. Perhaps some deep joy. You simply melt. Take 2 letting go breaths. I really invite you to try to keep your eyes closed as much as possible as we move to the other side. So you're welcome to just roll your body over. I'm gonna switch sides so I can stay facing the camera here. Tuning into that really still, quiet space as we drape and melt left side over. Now, see how that feels. If you want less height, you can just use one blanket. If you'd like to open the right arm back behind you, you can find something to rest it on so you don't even have to exert any effort. Breathing into that internal space that can be cultivated in the darkness. Expansive inner realms. We can invite in the breath, the visionary, the inner guide, the ancestors that help us remember what's truly important. To letting go breaths here. And gently, slowly moving out of this shape. Pressing your way up, and this is where we'll find the block, and we'll place the block towards the top of the mat and take your blanket bolster, placing the far end on the block, and we'll turn around here. This is our final pose. So we're gonna sit just a little bit. You can like make a fist from your sacrum to the blanket. And then lay back over this so the head is propped up on the blanket on the block. And you can bring the soles of your feet together for a reclined bound angle pose here. And this is a really beautiful pose to think about opening into your true nature, your most expansive being without doing. It's like you're the queen or king of your own energy, your own sovereignty, your own inner world. So we're going to rest here for a few breaths. If the legs feel uncomfortable, feel free to stretch them out long. See if you can open the palms up to the sky, arms a little bit out from the body, really broadening through the heart. And in this moment of deep contraction of energy in the world, can we open to the wisdom that it holds, to the stillness, to the being instead of doing, to the wisdom that resides in the darkness. It does not need to be feared. We welcome it. The balance The light, the dark, the being, the doing, the expansion, the contraction. Bringing your awareness back to the surface of your body. Begin to deepen your breath and wiggle your fingers and toes. As you're ready, bend one knee and then the other, rolling off of your support here, pressing your way up to find a seat. And feeling yourself held in the womb of dark, this nighttime with our half moon and releasing the year, welcoming the next solar year as the light starts to grow tomorrow. Nestling into this night, this darkness. And allow these words by Rilke to wash over you. This is a poem called The Night. You, darkness, of whom I am born, I love you more than the flame that limits the world. To the circle it illuminates and excludes all the rest. But the dark embraces everything, shapes and shadows, creatures and me, people, nations, just as they are. It lets me imagine a great presence stirring beside me. I believe in the night. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, pressing your thumbs in to feel your heartbeat, your personal pulse. And take a deep breath of gratitude. The darkness that has so much to teach us. This moment of pause, the cycles of the seasons that we can rely on. Thank you all so much for joining me for practice today. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.